This is the story of the Philippines, a nation of islands on the eastern rim of the vast Pacific Ocean. The Philippines is similar to many other countries in Southeast Asia. Before the turn of the century, like all countries in Southeast Asia, the Philippines was a colony. Today, it is an independent nation, proud of the progress it has achieved in a decade of self-government. In its 10 short years of independent existence, it has weathered tensions and pressures. It has known crises and triumphs, and has achieved confidence in its ability to survive. In those 10 short years, it has established itself as a courageous fighter in the struggle for the freedom of all of Asia's peoples, and as a respected member in the Council of Nations. In the year 1898, the Philippines became a territory of the United States. Two years later, William Howard Taft became the first American civil governor. The Philippines for the Filipinos was his slogan. Eventual independence, his promise. There followed 30 years of hard work in nation building, when the structure of a democratic and independent nation was fashioned step by step. The Philippine Commonwealth, the first great stride toward full nationhood, was inaugurated in 1935. Manuel Quezon, fiery Filipino leader, became its president. Five years away from its promised appointment with freedom, the Philippine Commonwealth was plunged into war. Lost to the enemy after a brave but futile stand on Batan and Corregidor, General MacArthur promised its eventual liberation. This was the price of liberation. On July 4th, 1946, despite the devastation wrought by war, the Philippines became an independent nation. President Manuel Rojas took the oath of office as its first president. Ambassador McNutt, then American commissioner in the Philippines, declared the United States sovereignty over the Philippines at an end. The raising of the Philippine flag marked the birth of a free, independent nation. An Asian nation conceived in the selfless tenets of a true democracy. Work. There was a lot of it for the new republic. With the help of the United States, its ally and friend, the republic began its work of reconstruction. There were old roads to repair and new roads to build. Bridges destroyed by war had to be reconstructed. Schools and public buildings had to be rebuilt, the shattered economy revitalized, and slowly rehabilitated. In the midst of the difficult task, the nation was plunged into grief by the death of its president, Rojas, the principal architect of its rehabilitation. Vice President Quirino took over the vacant presidency. The vigorous pace of Philippine progress continued. The national program laid emphasis on the development of the Philippine economy, with primary attention focused on agriculture and industry. The Philippine government, with the assistance of the United States Foreign Aid Program, tackled the job of helping the farmer to increase the produce of his land, to raise his standard of living, to lead a healthier life. Too, he is provided with cheaper warehousing and handling facilities for his crops. The Philippine National Bank also offers easier, more liberal terms for farm and crop loans. Small, privately owned rural banks like these bring financing and banking services closer to the vitally important farm population. Farm aid societies like the Philippine Rural Reconstruction Movement and the Philippine Rural Community Improvement Society extend free technical assistance to farmers in many areas. The problem of equitable land distribution has plagued the nation for many generations. This is a Philippine solution to that problem. These are views of settlements in the rich and fertile valleys of the Philippines. They have been open to settlers, and there are many of these settlements throughout the country. Crowded, unhealthy slums such as these are found in many cities throughout the world. It is a problem that breeds disease and discontent, and which the Philippines is solving. This is a housing project in a suburb of Manila. Government-built homes are being sold in easy installments to low-salaried groups. This housing project accommodates more than 10,000 low-income families in homes of many different types. This is another project. It accommodates 480 families transplanted from unhealthy district slums. Industrial development was another requisite to national economic stability. Jobs had to be created. Natural resources tapped to ensure the growth of industry. The government undertook the establishment of hydroelectric plants to furnish cheap electric power for growing industries. And with government encouragement and the cooperation of private capital, large industries began to develop. Modern factories making wire and nails, storage batteries, electric bulbs and fluorescent lamps, and the world-famous Manila hemp. modern shoe factory is equipped with the latest machinery. A giant bottle factory supplies the needs of industry. Textile products of many kinds are woven in factories like this. The finer, more delicate piña cloth, famous throughout the world, continues as a home industry in many barrios and finds its way into large city stores. To the Filipinos, a good education for all is considered a necessity. More than 1/3 of the national budget is spent for education, for schools, supplies, and salaries for teachers. For a sound education is a basic ingredient needed to ensure the democratic way of life and essential for the progress of their country. This is the University of the Philippines. With its pre-war buildings destroyed, it has been rebuilt in its present location in Quezon City. Its colleges of medicine, law, pharmacy, agriculture, and education are famous throughout the Far East and recognized as training and research centers throughout the world. The nation's health is receiving considerable attention. Free medical clinics operated by the Bureau of Health are being established in all cities and towns. Here, mothers are taught prenatal and child care. Babies are given a healthy start in life, for they are the future of the nation. Older children are being taught health and dental care and provided with free dental service. Keen-eyed health inspectors supervise eating establishments by periodic and systematic inspections. Public health nurses pay regular visits to barrio homes as part of a public health program which will eventually reach every part of the nation. Immunization against such diseases as tuberculosis, part of a program launched barely 2 years ago, has gained considerable ground. But the Philippines, while working on her problems at home, has not forgotten that she is a part of a greater world, of a United Nations bound in honor to fight aggression and injustice. In answer to that duty, Filipino soldiers took part in the United Nations campaign in Korea. Filipino troops fought bravely and returned to a hero's welcome. For a few, home was a hero's grave. For still others, it was the long way home. Taken prisoners by the enemy, coming home to a free democratic life was cause for rejoicing. But the Filipino soldiers who went overseas to fight for a principle was not a raw recruit facing an unfamiliar enemy. He was a veteran of the same kind of battle against the same enemy right in his own country. The communist-led Hooks had openly defied the government since 1949 and had risen in armed revolt. In 1952, the Philippine Army, under Secretary of Defense Ramon Magsaysay, received orders to step up military operations in all sectors. The all-out drive soon drove the Hooks into full retreat. Quick-moving Army units sought the enemy by air, by sea, and on land, fought them relentlessly and mercilessly. But for those Hooks who were captured or who surrendered, the government provided a program of rehabilitation. This is EDCOR, the government program for the rehabilitation of captured or surrendered Hooks. In this farm settlement, reformed Hooks are settled with their families, in their own homes, on their own land, reaping their own harvest. In 1953, the man primarily responsible for the liquidation of the communist Hook menace in the Philippines was elected president, a man who lived as one of the common people, farmer and garage mechanic who had been guerrilla leader, congressman, secretary of defense. In the first year of Magsaysay's administration, a vital blow was struck at communism in the Philippines with the capture of Luis Taruc, Hook Supremo. But aside from her active fight against international communism at home and abroad, the Philippines has had an equally great interest in her neighbors. This interest is dramatized by Operation Brotherhood, Philippine JC project for the relief of Vietnamese refugees from communist aggression. An international fair held in Manila was attended by many nations, not only from Asia, but also from all over the world. In 1954, Manila was host to a gathering of athletes from all over Asia in the Second Asian Games. Over 1,000 athletes from 18 Asian nations learned at first hand that peoples can live and strive in peace. One of the most vital meetings of statesmen was held in Manila in 1954. The Manila Conference adopted the Pacific Charter affirming the principle of self-determination for all peoples of Southeast Asia and the Southwest Pacific. This document was conceived and accepted through the initiative of Philippines President Ramon Magsaysay. The Philippines proclaims the right of all peoples to self-determination and freedom, which she herself enjoys. The right of all peoples to determine their own future, to elect their own leaders in free and honest elections, to safeguard the sacred principle of the equality of all men. Today, the Philippines stands ready to lend a helping hand to those who would travel the same road towards freedom, progress, and peace.